Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I am Darshan Hussaina Usman. On News Hour today, villagers in Niger State abandon farm for fear of abduction. Security operatives disperse protesters in Katsina over rising insecurity. Ex-servicemen protest non-payment of pension arrears in Kano. And on the foreign scene, U.S. says Taliban rule is marked by killings, abuses. Now the news in detail. Residents of Tungamba Are in Mashegu local government area of Niger State, where 15 worshippers were killed by armed bandits last Wednesday, say they no longer go to farms for fear of being killed or abducted for ransom by bandits. A nursing mother is among the 19 people killed. Daily Trust reporter Abubakar Akote, who visits the village, sends this report.
People of Tungamba Are have not yet come to terms with the recent horrible and traumatic experience that has left them in frustration. The eyes were red and the lips were begging to narrate a lot about the last attack in the mosque that led to the death of at least 15 worshippers. The locals said for the past few months, they go to the farm to harvest their crops in fear because bandits strike at will, kill and kidnap people on their farms. The situation is made worse by the lack of mobile network in the area and deplorable nature of access roads connecting the communities to the highway. In Tungamba Are, the signs of frustration and emotional trauma are visible since the incident of last Wednesday when 15 worshippers were killed.
Sun kashe mutane nan haraba akwai mutane wanda aka kwance nan ma wurin mutane ne wanda ke kwance wurin har karfe 7:20 suna cikin garin gaba su fita ba sun je nan sun ka wuce sun ka je can bakin inda sun ka rage mutane suka kashe mutum 3 sun ka wuce sauran mata da namiji guda su 9 an ka tuwo su zo gida a tai wa'ancan na daji a tsoko ga wasu kuma bisa da sun kwanta mutane ko da an je wurin duka su wata banna ce sai aka ce to a bar su sai zuwa an jima a ji a tsoko gaba.
Ina da yaron da ke zuwa gonar sarki suna aiki suna daga cikin waɗanda fulanin daji sun ka zo sun ka iske sun ka kashe ba su ji ba su gani ba wani dalilin komi su kashe
shi shekaran shi nawa?
Yana da shekara 28 yana da yaro da raye a duniya. Ya kuma da su yaran suna nan a rayuwa.
A resident, Muhammad Garba, said the bandits operated unchallenged between 5 a.m. till after 7 a.m., moving from house to house after killing 11 people in the mosque.
Nan cikin masallacin ga abinda sun ka kashe mutum 11 daji sun kashe saura, amma ainihin wanda an ka samu cikin garin gade mutum 11 sun kashe masallaci. Can sun kashe wani can cikin ruwa. Mukan ta gudu mun kai kama daji.
Tungamba Are village has been attacked less than 2 months after Mazakuka, where 18 worshippers were killed in the same manner in a mosque. Mazakuka, Adogan Malang and other communities in Mashegu have been experiencing a series of banditry attacks that led to the killing of many in recent times. Just as dozens were feared dead, some kidnapped and some others injured at Tungamba Are while they were performing the morning prayers in the mosque.
Operatives of the Department of State Services and the police have dispersed protesters in Katsina State who took to the streets over the spate of killings in the state and other parts of the country. The protesters had converged on Kofar Suru roundabout, Emir's Palace, before the arrival of the security operatives. The protest, led by one Jamila Abbas and Bashir Dauda, condemned in totality the resurgence of bloodshed in the north and the country at large. Abdullahi Yamadi reports.
The peaceful demonstration by the concerned Nigerians in Katsina was staged to register their anger against the incessant killings and unwanted destruction of lives and properties of innocent citizens.
Properties as enshrined in the Constitution. All leaders, you have been elected to protect lives and properties. Stop killing innocents. Stop killing.
The protesters defy the early morning Hamilton called to start the protest from the Central Mosque roundabout on Nagogo Road to express their concerns. Though they were not allowed to carry out the protests from the onset, as they did not obtain permit from any of the security organizations or police authority, but the group said they had obtained approval from the Inspector General of Police.
We are protesting against the deterioration of insecurity, not only in northern Nigeria, but Nigeria as a whole. Unfortunately, we have come out to protest, but the Commissioner of Police sent his people to stop us, which actually we are not happy, because we know, based on the provision of the 1999 Nigerian constitutions and the other international laws and conventions, we have every right as civilized and law-abiding citizens to come out and protest without even getting the permission of the Commissioner of Police.
On behalf of the protesters, Bashir Doda Sabor Ungwa said they are protesting against the resurgence of killings, not only in northern Nigeria, but across the country as a whole.
Actually, we are not satisfied because we have not seen any significant effort toward, especially in terms of changing the tactics or the strategy used by the security. That is why up to this moment, you cannot travel, for example, from Katsina to Sokoto via Jibia route. No one can travel that. And you cannot go to a lot of places, especially in the northwestern part of the country.
They also called on the government to discard any possible renegotiation with the bandits, as the recent amnesty program yielded little or no result at all. They also called on the government to redouble effort to fish out both killers of Sokoto travelers and the recent killing of the Commissioner of Science and Technology in Katsina State. The organizers of the protest were later taken away by the security agents in what they termed as an invitation for further clarification. In Katsina, Abdullahi Ismayamadi reporting for Trust Television.
Governor Aminu Masari of Katsina State has stressed the need for states in the northwest to renew their efforts through collaboration to address the security challenges in the zone. Masari stated this on Tuesday in Abuja while on a visit to the presidential villa Abuja, where he updated President Muhammadu Buhari on socio-economic and security developments in the state. Speaking to the State House correspondents at the end of the meeting on the recent killing of one of his commissioners, the governor dismissed media reports that he was killed by bandits, saying the incident was purely an assassination.
Well, I think if we are talking about the issue of banditry, certainly we have seen some improvements. When we had a comparative analysis before the issuance of the security containment order, what we saw in 3 months when we compared, we saw a drastic drop of over 100% in terms of the rates of kidnappings, killings, and associated crimes with banditry. So the incidents we had last week had nothing to do with banditry attack. It was purely an assassination by unknown killers, which the police and other security agencies are working around the clock to unravel what had happened, because he was killed, my commissioner was killed by an unknown assassin, and not a single pin was stolen in his house. So you could see that this was a pure crime that has to be investigated for us to know the root causes and why and who.
It's been 5 days since the protesters first gathered to demand concrete action from government to address rising insecurity across states in northern Nigeria. The protest is gaining momentum in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, with protesters gathering again at Unity Fountain, vehemently pressing home their demands for peace in the country. Chijoke Okafor reports.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. These words were repeatedly chanted by members of a coalition created for the sole purpose of demanding peace and security in northern Nigeria and beyond. The protest earlier kicked off in Abuja on Friday, 10th December, and has since spread to other parts of the country. Unlike most protests where violence ensues, these activists are going about it peacefully, yet fiercely passing across a strong message of dissatisfaction in the security situation of the country.
People are being killed every now and then, in the day, in the night, in the evening. Women are being raped. Children are being killed. We are tired of what is happening. We are tired of what is happening. President Muhammadu Buhari, we didn't vote Adesina, we didn't vote Garba Shehu. We voted for you, come out and address us. We are disappointed with you. We are not happy the way you are governing this country. Nowhere is safe. Nowhere is safe.
With numerous hashtags including hashtag Northern Lives Matter, hashtag Secure Our Lives, and hashtag North is Bleeding, amongst others. These words represent the devastating cries for help from different sections of the northern part of Nigeria. They say women are being raped, children are molested, and men are killed in cold blood all over the north.
Do you know how many women are being raped on a daily basis? Do you know how many mothers? Do you know how many offers we have now? If they are telling you that nothing is happening, they are lying. We are out to tell you the truth, Baba.
The protesters are challenging the federal government and security agencies to step up and protect the lives and property of the citizenry. This is coming as killings, kidnappings and banditry have intensified in the country over time.
We are not going to be tired until we get proper response, until we get people to tell us exactly what they are doing to curtail this. We are going to start sending letters to all these officials, and we will ask them specific questions. What I'm asking today in public is going to continue. Those incidences, we will inquire about what people did, what officials did, and what actions the government is taking, and what actions are they planning in the future.
As the hashtag North is Bleeding protest intensifies across states in northern Nigeria, the conveners of this protest have once again gathered at the Unity Fountain in the heart of Nigeria's capital city to demand peace and stability across northern Nigeria. It's been 5 days since the protest kicked off, and up till now, there has not been any comment from the federal government or even any state government. And according to the protesters, they are going to carry on with this for as long as the North continues to bleed and for as long as the leaders continue to remain silent. Chijioke Okafo, Trust TV News, Abuja.
At least one person is reportedly shot dead, while dozens of travelers abducted when bandits blocked the Kaduna-Zaria highway in Kaduna State. Reports say that the incident happened around Mawai village, also known as Gonar Magajangari, on Monday night, killing one Sani Dogara heading for Kaduna from Zaria. According to reports, several motorists alighting from their vehicles in confusion ran on foot into the bushes. The scene of the incident is about 15 kilometers from Zaria. Muhammad Shaba gives us situation report.
Highway, killing one person, abducting others. On Monday night, it was gathered that the incident happened around Mawai village, also known as Gonan Magajingari, around 9 p.m. According to eyewitness, the bandit appeared from nowhere and opened fire on innocent travelers while abducting others. The state public relations officer, ASP Jalige Mohammed, who confirmed the killing of one person, identified as one Alhaji Sani Dogara, also said that the command is yet to receive any report of abduction. He also assured travelers that the state police commissioner, Mudashir Abdullahi, has ordered the deployment of more security personnel along that highway. He also assured citizens that there is no cause for alarm because security will be patrolling the highway. It was gathered that a few days ago, bandits attacked two communities in Chukwu local government where some individuals were abducted, even though the attempt at one of the community was repelled by security agencies. On December 3rd, bandits attacked Ngongimbia community in Chukwu local government, where 28 people were said to have been abducted, 2 were said to have been killed by the bandits. Kaduna remained one of the centers of banditry, even though the state officials and security agencies have been trying their best to curtail the activities of these bandits operating in some of the outskirts of the state.
Meanwhile, travelers in Zaria say they are worried about the cases of bandits' attack on Zaria-Kaduna Highway.
I am among the people that does. I am among the drivers that happened the bandits, what they have done to them, because I am among them, because I suffer a lot. I didn't expect such things, because the way that I trek, I run for at least more than a kilometer, because I suffer a lot. I suffer. Even my body now is failing me the way that. It is around 10 o'clock, before 9 to 10 o'clock that happened. So I reached my house almost after 1 o'clock in the night yesterday, because I suffer a lot. Because immediately when I reached out, they was telling me that stop. If you didn't stop, I will shoot you. So I just to come out from my car. I just run away. My car just enter on that trailer, because I have taken the car to the repair. We are calling the government. Let the government do reasonable about it.
Did you see the bandits? How many are
there? Actually, I can't know there are many, because they are using guns, shooting every corner. They are killing a lot of people. You see people die on the ground. I cry. I even call. Let the government do something about this. What is happening? Let the government do something. Because the people, a lot of us saw them on the ground. Actually, I can't. Let the government do something about this. Let the government do something about this, because a lot of people, they have died yesterday. More than at least they reach 3 to 4 hours. Because even myself, I reached my house around 1 o'clock in the night yesterday.
How did you manage to get to your house?
Because yes, of course, because there's 2 armor tanks that came from Jaji. So we thank God. I even say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. That's why God saved me. Let the government do something about it. Let the government do something about what happened.
When you came back, did you learn about anybody who is killed?
A lot of people. They say about almost 30. 30. They take the people, they enter bush with them. There's one of my brothers, we came together with him. I left him in Kaduna. Later when he started telling me what is happening, I cry. Let the government do something about it. Let the government do something about this.
Yeah, I'm going to Kaduna.
Are you aware of what happened yesterday on the road?
Yeah, I'm very quite aware.
What can you say about it, that you always fly the road?
Actually, what happened yesterday, it was just like, it was after I passed, it happened. And when getting home, because when I was on my way, people were calling me, where are you? I said, I'm away. On getting home, before they now told me that this is what happened. And very sad, and I was terrified. There is no security. Lives are just miserable. Human beings are just like animals. Nobody cares about someone's life anymore. So I don't know what is happening. I don't know where they want us to go.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, how blacksmiths create fortune in Gombe. Do stay with us.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the Trust TV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search Trust TV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. Here's a look at some of our major stories. Residents of Tungambari in Mashegu local government area of Niger State, where 15 worshippers were killed by armed bandits last Wednesday, say they no longer go to farms for fear of being killed or abducted for ransom by bandits. And the operatives of the Department of State Services and the police have dispersed protesters in Katsina who took to the streets over the spate of killings in the state and other parts of the country. To more news, Department of State Services has denied allegations by the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra of maltreating its leader, Nnamdi Kanu, who is currently in custody. Spokesperson of the service, Peter Afunanya, during an address to newsmen in Abuja, stated that allegations by the group was in contravention of the DSS standard operating procedures. He also added that the leader of the group also has full access to medical facilities as well as visitation.
The service denies all the inciting allegations by IPOB and states that Nnamdi Kanu is not in any way maltreated in custody. Accusations of maltreatment negate the service's standard operation procedure on the implementation of rights of a suspect. Nnamdi Kanu enjoys full luxury in the holding facility, incomparable to any of its type anywhere in the country. He is accorded full rights and privileges. He is never denied his right of worship or freedom from his select religious practice. Adequate attention, that's number 3, adequate attention is paid to Kanu's health. He has unhindered access to the best medical care and doctors. Kanu himself has confirmed to his visitors that the service has never in any way maltreated him.
Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities says it will embark on an industrial action if the federal government does not listen to their demands. Onwara Anyinwobodo reports that the decision is reached at the Southeast Zonal Executive Council workshop held in Anambra State by the union. The report.
The zonal coordinator ASU Owerri Zone, Comrade Ozo Onyabianam, alongside other representatives from the various universities in the zone, said the union will embark on an industrial strike over the government's failure to implement its agreement with the union. They say that effort made by the union to get the federal government to honor the 2009 FG ASU agreement and also the renegotiation of the agreement has failed and has left the union with no other alternative. They warned that unless the federal government strives to sincerely resolve the issues, the union would no longer entertain MOUs and MOS and would not halt the strike action when it commences unless the 2009 FG ASU agreement is fully implemented.
We are saddened that having reached the end of the tunnel, we couldn't find any light. True to their character, the agents of the federal government of Nigeria has reneged from implementing the 2009 FGN ASU agreement. We once again alert Nigerians that unless the federal government strives to sincerely resolve these issues, there will be no rest for us all. There will be no more MOUs or MOAs. When the macabre dance begins, there will be no stopping it until everything is fully implemented. The insincerity of the federal government is not just beyond understanding, it is beyond tolerance.
Universities under the Owerri zone include Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, Nnamdi Azikiwe University Awka, Michael Okpara University of Agriculture Umudike, Imo State University and Federal University of Technology Owerri. For Trust News, Onwara Anyinwobodo.
Executive Secretary of the National Board for Technical Education, Idris Bugaje, has called for the delisting of trade test certificates. The MBTE boss stated this in Kaduna at a press briefing. He said the proliferation of skills certificates in the country is alarming, therefore calling for the collapse of all skills certificates into national skills qualification.
The resolutions of the 7th Industry Stakeholder Consultation on skills development be communicated to the National Council on Skills, chaired by Mr. Vice President for proper address. It also proposes an executive bill on NSQF, National Skills Qualification Framework, to be sent to the National Assembly. The meeting recommended that all skills qualifications in the country, trade test certificates, city and guilds, Pitman certificate, etc., should all be collapsed into the NSQ, the National Skills Qualification, as approved by FEC. It also resolved that the list of NSQ as qualification, the listing of NSQ as accredited qualification in the National Scheme of Service. We are calling on the head of service to please implement the inclusion of NSQ in the National Scheme of Service. The meeting also resolved the need to establish a National Skills Fund. Now, to avoid overtaxation of industries, the Industrial Training Fund is recommended to be transformed to the National Skills Fund on a new paradigm of funding skills development, but not to be a trainer or an awarding body as they are doing now. In fact, they also regulate themselves at the moment. They issue certificates that are not recognized by the MBTE and therefore not recognized by government. So there's need to transform the ITF to become the NSF on a new paradigm.
President Muhammadu Buhari has written to the Nigerian Senate seeking the confirmation of a ministerial nominee, Mu'azu Sambo from Taraba State. This is contained in a letter on the floor by President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, at the commencement of Tuesday's plenary. Sambo displaces the former Minister of Power, Saleh Mamman, who was removed last September, along with Sabo Nanono, ex-agriculture minister. Buhari, in his letter, urged the Senate to screen and confirm the nominee for appointment.
47 subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. I have the honor to forward for confirmation by the Senate the nomination of Mu'azu Jaji Sambo from Taraba State as Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Copy of his CV is attached herewith. It is my hope that this submission will receive the usual expeditious consideration of the Senate. Please accept, distinguished Senate President, the assurances of my highest regards. Yours sincerely, Muhammadu Buhari.
President Muhammadu Buhari also nominated 6 national commissioners and 1 resident electoral commissioner for the Independent National Electoral Commission.
It is my hope that this submission will receive the usual expeditious consideration of the Senate. Please accept, distinguished Senate President, the assurances of my highest regards. Yours sincerely, Muhammadu Buhari.
The President further nominated 5 commissioners for the National Population Commission, including Engineer Benedict Opong, Akwa Ibom State, Gloria Izofo, Bayelsa State, Patricia O. Iyanyang, Kuchi, Benue State, Dr. Bala Haliru, Kebbi State, and Dr. Iyataya Oyetumbi, Oyo State.
Of 6 national commissioners and 1 resident electoral commissioner for the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Pursuant to paragraph 14 of part 1 of the 3rd schedule to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, I hereby forward for the confirmation by the Senate the appointment of the underlisted nominees as national commissioners and resident electoral commissioner for the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Malam Mohamed Haruna, Niger State, North Central National Commissioner. Mrs. May Agbamu Chembu, Delta State, South National Commissioner. Ukiagu Kenneth Nnamdi, Abia State, Southeast National Commissioner. Major General A.B. Alkali, retired, Adamawa State, Northeast National Commissioner. Engineer Professor Rhoda H. Gumus, Bayelsa State, South National Commissioner, Mr. Sam Olumekun, Ondo State, Southwest National Commissioner, Olani Olale Ijalaye, Ondo State, Southwest Resident Electoral Commissioner. The curricula vitae for the nominees are attached herewith. While trusting that the Senate will favorably consider this request and confirm the nominees in the usual expeditious manner, please accept, distinguished Senate President, the assurances of my highest consideration. Yours sincerely, Muhammadu Buhari.
The Nigerian Senate has amended the Senate Standing Rules 2015, approving a simple majority in election of presiding officers. The upper chamber also retained a closed ballot system of voting for the election of the President of the Senate and the Deputy. The report.
Election of principal officers of the Senate is a major prerequisite to a smooth running of the Senate affairs. To further ease legislative proceedings, an amendment is being considered in respect of Order 111, Senate Standing Rules 2015. The motion for the amendment was sponsored by the chairman of the Committee on Rules and Business, Senator Suleiman Sadiq, and the vice chairman, who doubles as a Senate leader, Senator Yaya Abdullahi. The Rules and Business Committee had proposed a two-thirds majority in its report.
The Senate Standing Orders were last amended in 2015 to accommodate issues that will make sure orders dynamic to facilitate effective legislative process. The Senate further notes that despite the amendment, there are a number of issues that still require further amendment.
Senator James Manager Chu is weight in support of a two-thirds majority, while some lawmakers kick against the adoption of a simple majority.
We are talking about the first sitting, the inauguration of the Senate. I think two-thirds is good enough.
Ordinarily, yes, we could say two-thirds is good, but in the climb that and in the way we operate. So if maybe 1 plus maybe 1/3 just decide that, okay, we are not coming because we want to stall this, they will succeed.
Amendment is simple majority that is based on at least two-thirds representation across the country.
President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawal, however, opted that amendments in the direction of a two-thirds majority be considered.
That we need two-thirds before the inauguration takes place. And the argument is that first day to elect presiding officers is so important that you should have two-thirds to be present. And there is a counter-argument that if that becomes the law, some people could decide to ensure that inauguration or elections never take place.
Lawmakers in the majority, who were stormed by the Senate President's observation, accordingly voted in support of a simple majority for the election of presiding officers. It also amended Order 96 to provide for senators to be members of not more than 7 committees at a time, while committee membership will consist of not less than 7 members and not more than 20 members at a time. In his concluding remarks, President of the Senate commended the Rules and Business Committee for a job well done, saying the amendment of the standing rules was long overdue.
Retired Army officers under the aegis of Coalition of Concerned Veterans in Kano State are protesting against federal government's failure to pay their 24-month pension arrears and other benefits. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibril reports that the ex-servicemen are also demanding implementation of a national health insurance scheme for their members across the country. The report.
Reduction of security department allowances, inhuman reduction from the medically boarded veterans' remuneration, and the review of national health insurance scheme to cover essential and serious ailment of their members are some of the issues that brought out these ex-servicemen on the streets of Kano.
There are some aspects of our welfare that we have been clamoring for, and up to this moment we have written series of letters. We have written to the Honorable Minister of Defense, we have written to the Honorable Minister of Finance, but unfortunately we haven't received any positive responses, and so we decided to take our destiny into our hands, and that's why you see us coming out today on a peaceful protest, not violent at all. It is to express the concerns of our members across the country. We have served this nation during our youthful ages, and all we deserve in retirement is comfort, at least to show that we have put in so much years of dedication and loyalty to this government.
According to them, the no cash backing slogan is what the authorities are using to cover up what they call weaknesses in taking care of those who labored for the nation's peace and stability. Each time we had Armed Forces Remembrance Day, I used to tell our members to exercise more patience. The president is aware of us, but we don't know. Maybe it's after he finishes his tenure before he remembers us.
We are ready to, in fact, to support and finish with these rascals, these miscreants, these bastards who had been destabilizing the country. We are ready to do that. But until when our benefits are being paid, when they pay up the benefits, definitely we are ready to take up and move, go and guide our young ones there in the field.
These are retired army officers under the coalition of concerned veterans protesting over what they call the failure of the federal government to address some of their grievances, particularly the issue of 12 months arrears of minimum wage and inhumane treatment of their members who are medically boarded, among other concerns. So they are asking for the federal government to address all these particular problems. Otherwise, their protest is going to be a continuous exercise, not only in Kano, but across the Federation. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
National Rescue Movement has threatened to institute legal action against opposition People's Democratic Party, accusing the party of stealing its slogan. National Executive Council meeting of the party in Abuja also decries the deteriorating security situation in the country. Trust TV's Shafi'u Suleiman reports.
Addressing a news conference, its national chairman, Senator Said Dansado, takes a swipe on the ruling APC for failure to tackle deteriorating security situation in the country. As he picks holes in the APC handling of the security challenge, Dansado provides alternative policy options that could help in addressing the problem.
Whatever policy will make extensive consultation. Whenever we release money to any organization for the public, we'll make effective monitoring and make sure that the money reach the desired destination. And anybody who divert money to fraudulent people, we fire him. Any government will fire, even if you are a minister.
The party, which lambasts the main opposition party, the PDP, for lacking in initiatives after its 16 years on the saddle of leadership, says it will demand the nation's electoral umpire to reprimand the party for surreptitiously stealing its slogan.
We are surprised that PDP, after existing for 22 years, they have not found it appropriate to rescue Nigeria. Until now, when a new political party with focus has identified rescue as the fundamental thing to do first to rescue Nigeria and Nigerians from the socio-economic and political doldrum.
The national chairman of the party also appealed to President Muhammadu Buhari to assent to the electoral amendment bill now before him as a matter of urgency, saying Nigerians will not accept anything short of that. The National Rescue Movement slated its National Congress for February 19, 2022. Shapir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back from that break. Still in the news, blacksmithing is one of the historic trades in the world that has been in existence for centuries. In Gombe State, Makera is a modern blacksmith hotspot that has been harboring a large number of people working to fend for themselves. Ibrahim Ismail visited the area and files in this report.
This is Usman Muhammad, a blacksmith who has been in the business for over 20 years. He started learning the job since he was a teenager.
He
now runs a workshop at the popular Makera area in Gombe Main Market and specializes in manufacturing plow and other farm tools.
daga Bauchi, daga Adamawa, daga Taraba ya makamantansu. A Gomben kansa a baya lokacin gwamna Hassan Dan Umbo. Ai an kawo gidan garama ne nan da yawa ba kaɗan ba. Duk da ma yanzu mu bi da tsammani ba, mun san cewa mai girma gwamna Alhaji Muhammadu Inuwaya idan ya waiwato wannan layi din zai yi.
According to Usman, they have been contributing immensely in addressing unemployment in Gombe State.
Gaskiya muna da mutane ya kai guda 3,000 da wani abu a Makera tsakanin masu gidaje da yara. Akwai wanda kuma sun fita ma suna waje, wanda arzikin su ya fi karfin layin sun fita sun koma gefe-gefe haka da sauransu. Tunda wani ya shago ɗaya zaka samu mai gida da mutane sun kai 20, 25, 30. Wani zaka samu 15, wani zaka samu 10, wani zaka kai shago mai karamin karfi ne zaka samu mutum ɗaya da mutum 5. Allah na kai shekara 9 bana. Da samu yancin kaina. A yanzu kuma na cimma nasarori mabambanta. Tun yanzu ina da yara akalla yara sun ga 4 a ƙarshina. Kuma kowannen su alhamdulillah duk inda ya je zai yi aiki kamar yadda aka koya masa a nan wurin. Kuma an je samu ci gaba, an yi iyali.
This young man is one of those working here to be self-reliant.
Kuma sana'a ce ta mahaifina, ni ma kaman gada ne wannan sana'a. Gaskiya na tallafa min sosai don a ciki nake yin wasu harkokina da nake yi. Nake wani in ina bukatan kuɗi dai yana tallafa min sosai dai a take.
However, these hard-working Nigerians face a great challenge that requires intervention of government at all levels.
Akallan za a yi wannan abun guda 10 ini daya. To a rana ce za a samu guda 100 in an samu mashin wanda ya dinga taimakawa zai taimaka mana wurin sarrafa al'amura. Akwai mashin wanda ake yankawa. Inda za ka yi minti 30 ne yanzu zai yanka ma minti 5. To kaga an samu ci gaba. To akwai mashin da zai yanka maka a minti 1 zuwa 2. wanda kuma karfin bai kai wannan mashin din ba to kaga shi ma idan na samu irin wannan mashin din muna bukata.
These local manufacturers see what they do as a modern blacksmith that requires the use of advanced technology for effective service delivery. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail for Trust TV.
In business, House of Representatives have passed the Finance Bill 2021 for second hearing. In what looked like a U-turn, the House considered the bill after its Committee on Finance had earlier on Monday held a public hearing on the bill. President Muhammadu Buhari had transmitted the Finance Bill 2021 to the National Assembly for consideration and passage to give legal backing to some of the proposals in the 2022 appropriation bill presently before the Parliament. Meanwhile, the House has passed the Public Assets Reform Bill, which will replace the Public Enterprises Privatization and Commercialization Act when it is signed into law. Still in business, Debt Management Office says Nigeria's total public debt rose to 38 trillion naira as of September 30, 2021. This is contained in the debt data released by the DMO this Tuesday. The figures show that Nigeria's public debt increased from 35 trillion naira at the end of second quarter 2021 by 2.5 trillion naira to the end of September level. According to the DMO, the increase of 2.5 trillion naira when compared to the corresponding figure of 35 trillion naira at the end of second quarter 2021 is largely accounted for by the $4 billion euro bonds issued by the government in September 2021. United Kingdom has taken all 11 countries off England's travel red list. The Health Secretary, Sajid Javid, announced that the statement will be made official on Wednesday. The Health Secretary has set out in Parliament the rationale for ending the travel red list, saying that as the new variant is spreading in the UK, travel restrictions are now less effective in slowing the incursion of Omicron from abroad. The decision means England will no longer require hotel quarantine for travelers from Angola, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, Nigeria, South Africa, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. However, testing measures, a pre-arrival negative test and then another PCR test after arrival, remains in place for all travelers. Let's join Aisha Haruna for more news from the foreign scene.
United Nations says it has received credible allegations of extrajudicial killings of more than 100 former Afghan National Security Forces and others associated with Afghanistan's former government since its fall 3 months ago, with most taking place at the hands of the Taliban. In a speech to the Human Rights Council on Tuesday, the UN Deputy High Commissioner for Human Rights, Neda Al-Nashif, said at least 72 of more than 100 alleged killings are attributed to the ruling Taliban. Al-Nashif said at least 50 suspected members of the local affiliate of ISIL died by hanging and beheading in the Nangarhar province alone over the same period. The Taliban took over Afghanistan in a rapid military sweep in mid-August amid a chaotic withdrawal of the United States-led foreign forces from the country. Former Danish Immigration Minister Inger Støjberg has been sentenced to 60 days in prison for misconduct in office after a special court found her guilty on Monday. A clear majority of an impeachment court specially appointed for this trial found that Støjberg acted with intent in a case regarding the separation of an asylum-seeking couple from Syria. The prosecution had demanded 4 months in prison, while the defense sought acquittal. Court chairman Thomas Rodam, upon delivering the verdict in Copenhagen, said a majority of the court found that the instruction at the heart of the case had been unlawful. However, 25 of the 26 judges were in favor of conviction and 1 was in favor of acquittal. Støjberg had served as Minister of Immigration and Integration from 2015 to 2019 under the head government Lars Rasmussen. Philippines Election Commission says President Rodrigo Duterte has withdrawn his candidacy for a Senate seat. In a post on Twitter on Tuesday, spokesman for the Election Commission, James Jimenez, said the president has filed his withdrawal from the senatorial elections It is not immediately clear why Duterte is dropping out of the senatorial race, but he had said in October he is retiring from politics. 76-year-old Duterte is constitutionally barred from seeking a second 6-year term as president. His current term will end in June 2022, and his run for the Senate had been seen as an attempt to remain in politics while facing an international probe into his war on drugs. There was no immediate comment from his political party. Meanwhile, Duterte's daughter, Sarah, is running for vice president, while his son, Sebastian, is contesting the mayoral race in the family's southern stronghold of Davao City. A powerful magnitude 7.3 earthquake has struck eastern Indonesia, triggering a tsunami warning and sending residents fleeing from their homes in panic. Authorities later said Tuesday's quake only caused minor damage and injured one person. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the quake hit a depth of 18.5 kilometers under the sea. Its epicenter was located 112 kilometers north of the town of Momeri, the second largest on the island in East Nusa. The tremor from an active fault in the Flores Sea was followed by at least 15 aftershocks, with the biggest registering magnitude 5.6. The agency said it is still assessing the effect of the quake. Ghana has said it will fine airlines $3,500 for each passenger who arrives in the capital's international airport without being fully vaccinated against COVID-19. State-owned Ghana Airport Company said on the new measures taking effect on Wednesday, air carriers will also be penalized the same amount for travelers who did not fill out a health declaration form before boarding their flight to Kotoka International Airport in Accra. The airport authority said while Ghanaians who fly in without meeting the requirement will be allowed to enter the country and undergo a 14-day quarantine, foreigners may be refused entry. The measures are just the latest taken by Ghana, which has introduced some of the strictest coronavirus-related restrictions in West Africa. The new penalties come a day after the country began requiring all passengers over the age of 18 to provide evidence of full vaccination against COVID-19, saying that 60% of the total new cases recorded in the country had come from the airport during a recent 2-week period.
And now we join Adeni Ajishafe, who is on standby with latest stories in sports.
Hello and welcome to Sport News. Newly appointed Super Eagles caretaker coach Augustine Eguavoen has called on all well-meaning Nigerians to rally around him and support the Super Eagles following his appointment. Eguavoen's appointment was announced on Sunday night following the sacking of SY head coach Gano Rohr. Former Super Eagles defender will now guide the Super Eagles to the 2021 African Cup of Nations in Cameroon with a squad that can challenge for the title at the biennial competition. Eguavoen says it is all about Nigeria, as the technical crew need prayer and support from Nigerians. Austin Eguavoen coached Nigeria when the team finished third place at the 2006 AFCON finals in Egypt and was on-field captain when the Super Eagles lifted the African Cup of Nations in Tunisia '94. Super Eagles will begin their quest in Cameroon against Pharaohs of Egypt on January 11th. Governments at all levels have been urged to make participation in school sport compulsory for all students in Nigeria. President, Nigerian School Sports Federation, Olabisi Joseph, at the opening ceremony of the 2021 Sports Writers Association of Nigeria SWAN Week or Your State Chapter at the NUJ Press Center in Yagoku, Ibadan, lectured on taking Nigerian sport to the next level through school sport reforms. Joseph says school sport that produce sports stars for Nigeria are on decline and needed to be revived for Nigerian athletes to excel in international competitions. Nigeria, with a population of 200 million citizens, should be able to produce various sports teams and athletes that could perform excellently in global competitions if sports at the grassroots are taken seriously. For us to have sustainable sport development, we need to return to school sport. Olabisi Joseph advocated for long-term development plans for sports in the country. Nigeria Union of Journalists or Oyo State Council Chairman Ademola Balola pointed out the need for parents and educationists to allow students combine sports with academic pursuits, as sports engender sound body with a sound mind. Head of Somalia's National Football Federation, Abdikani Said Arab, has been suspended from office over corruption-related allegations. Secretary General of Somali Football Federation, Yusuf Muhyiddin Ahmed, says the president was suspended over misuse of power, among other violations, as he violated provisions of the Somali Football Federation Constitution, using his power and interference in the administration and day-to-day affairs of the federation, and for corruption in 2 FIFA projects in Somalia, particularly in Mogadishu and Kismayo. Somali Football Federation Vice President Ali Abdi Mohammed has taken over as caretaker president. Forward Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has been stripped of Arsenal captaincy after his latest disciplinary breach. Arsenal also confirmed that Aubameyang will not be considered for selection for Wednesday's Premier League match against West Ham United. The Gunner says, "We expect all our players, particularly our captain, to work to the rules and standards we have all set and agreed." It has been reported that Aubameyang's disciplinary breach involved his late arrival back in England from a trip to see his mother in France in the wake of last week's 2-1 defeat by Everton. Gabon international Aubameyang took on the captain's role at the clubs after midfielder Granit Xhaka was also relieved of the job by former boss Unai Emery. Aubameyang has 7 goals in 15 appearances this season, but has not scored since October. Opening ceremony of Paris Olympic 2024 will take part on River Seine, organizers announced on Monday, breaking the long-held Summer Games tradition of a stadium procession of athletes and officials. More than 160 boats filled with athletes and officials from more than 200 countries will sail almost 6 kilometers between the Pont d'Austerlitz and Pont d'Iéna bridges in central Paris on July 26, 2024, with the closing ceremony scheduled to hold at the Trocadero, an expanse of gardens and fountains which overlook the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. That's sport news. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
With this, we wrap up News Hour on Trust TV. I am Darshan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.